Hi, this is Kathy from Gadgets Top 321, and in today's video, I'm going to be taking a look at the Franklin-Christoph Pocket Vagabond notebook cover. This is the natural wood fiber material, and I just want to mention the first thing I did was change out the elastics, and I'll talk about that in just a minute. But the notebook arrived in this nice sturdy cardboard box that can be recycled or repurposed, and inside a really nice soft bag. Franklin-Christoph colors, like their website is black. That's their signature color. And then there's another box with the Franklin-Christoph logo, and that's what the notebook was inside. So this is packaged nicely that it can be given as a gift. And like I mentioned, the first thing I did was change out the elastics. The elastics that came on it were black, and they're a pretty heavy-duty elastic. It's the same diameter as the ones that I changed it out for, but the elastic that I have is much stretchier, not quite as heavy duty. You can see that the knots have been covered in, I guess, some kind of glue, maybe super glue, I'm not sure, but it's really hard. Fortunately, these notebooks don't have the elastics going through a hole in the back. It's in the spine. And one thing I want to mention is all the holes are reinforced with metal grommets, so that's nice. And even if I would have left this elastic in there, that knot wouldn't get in the way of the writing, the back of the notebook. So the elastics that hold the notebook in, there were two elastics, and since the knots are covered in glue, I had to clip them and pull them out, but there were two. There are three holes, so you had one elastic going through two holes, giving you two elastics that you can put notebooks on, and then an elastic going through the other two holes, giving you two more elastics. So you can put a total of 4 notebooks in here. They would have their own elastics. I know you can rig up different ways. You could possibly fit more than that in here if you had thinner notebooks. But instead of doing 2 elastics, I zigzagged just 1 elastic through. And the way they had their elastics in, the knots were right here in the middle. So the knots would be inside the notebook right in the middle, and that was affecting how the notebooks closed. And I could have left the black elastics in and kind of worked them and worked the knot either down here to the bottom or up here to the top, but that elastic cord was a heavier duty than I wanted anyway, so I went ahead and switched it out, and I just ran 1 cord through it and had it tying down here at the bottom. And so I like the look of the brown with this blue notebook. I was debating, like anything on the Franklin-Christoph website, they have so many choices. The pens come in so many different materials, and their notebook covers. The pocket notebooks, the traveler's style, only come in this natural wood fiber, and I'll talk a little bit more about this material in just a minute. But then the full-size traveler's notebooks, you have the natural wood fiber, you have waxed canvas, which really, I was tempted to get one of those, but I already have a camel-colored actual traveler's notebook that I really like. So, but I was always tempted by that waxed canvas. They have leather traveler's notebooks, and then they also have, if you don't like the traveler's notebook style, they have just these pocket notebook covers that don't have the center elastics. They don't have any elastics on it. They just have like the pockets that you tuck the notebook covers in. Their notebooks come with 1 plain notebook, and I've come to the conclusion that I need some ruling. So I'm probably going to keep this in here and maybe use it as a currently inked journal, or just for playing with inks. I am going to test this sugarcane paper in just a minute with the fountain pen. My favorite pocket notebook, though, is the little moleskin. I'm not sure how to pronounce this. Kahir, the little, what you think of as a pocket notebook. They come in A5 sizes too, and I've tried the A5 size and I've had good luck. They've been fountain pen friendly, but that my A5 hardcover notebook is not at all fountain pen friendly. But I've had 2 packages of these and had good luck with this paper. So I'm going to stick with it. For pocket notebooks, I like 2 inserts, whether it's 2 notebooks or a notebook and like a zipper pouch or something like that. That's what I've got going in my little passport size traveler's notebook. What made me go ahead and opt for this larger size pocket notebook journal is, number one, I've just always wanted to try something that's made out of this natural wood fiber. I was always curious about it because it says on the website that you can machine wash it. Now, I don't anticipate that I will ever throw this in a washing machine, but it just intrigues me that it's this durable. I always wondered what it felt like with it being made out of wood. I assumed it was going to feel like paper, but it doesn't. It says on the website that this technically is a paper, but it has the strength and durability of leather. And when I first got this out of the package and felt of it, I was like, yeah, this does feel nice. Now, it's not very thick. Let me see. It's not thick like the leather on my traveler's notebook, but it's not that much thinner. You can tell it's lighter. Leather has some weight to it. It is lighter, but it feels more like, maybe like a bonded leather. I've got a Bible that is, let's see, bonded leather, and it's, kind of thin. Now this looks quite a bit more shiny than this notebook cover, and it feels more plasticky. You can feel that it's shinier. This doesn't feel exactly like leather, but it has more of a softness to it. It's got a pleasant feel to it, so I'm happy with the material. Now, I want you to hear this. Maybe you can hear this on the video. It's like you can hear. It's not quiet like leather. You can hear. It's almost like you can hear the fibers in it, but it feels nice. I don't feel like anything's going to tear. Like with my leather traveler's notebooks, when I get ready to write in them, I have to give them a little one of those to make it doesn't lay flat, but it stays open a little bit better when you bend it back. And so this behaves kind of like my leather traveler's notebooks. I'm happy with that. And these grids are a little bit smaller than the ruling in my passport notebook, so I can fit more writing on a page. This is just a sweet spot for me, the sweet spot size-wise for pocket notebooks. I recently got the Lockby Field Journal, and I like it too, but it's more of a going outside. It's less of a travel journal for me and more of right now I'm using it for like going on hikes and stuff like that, recording stuff having to do with my outdoorsy adventures. I have found through using like a full-size traveler's notebook for journaling that it's perfect. Since you're using just a little refill, I'm less reluctant to get one started. And if I find out that, oh, I'm wanting to use this notebook for a different purpose, I can take the refill out, set it off to the side, or move it to the back and put a new refill in there and, switch up what I'm using it for, switch it back and forth. So I'm less reluctant to start using a notebook. And for someone that's looking for a vegan-friendly notebook, or if you just want something different, something maybe a little bit more lightweight, this is a nice option. I'm really liking this. And the perimeter stitching is kind of tan, and with the brown elastic, I'm just really liking that. Franklin-Christoph is making a number of things out of this material now. They've got pen cases in various sizes. They've got pad folios, just so many different pen-related accessories. Now, as far as putting this in a pocket, this does fit in my pocket, and I got this zipper insert so that I could use it kind of like a wallet if I don't want to take an entire purse with me. But I found for women's pants pockets, it's still a little bulky, even though by most traveler's notebook standards, this isn't super chunky. This is a nice size for just fitting in my purse. This almost fits in my back pocket. It will slide into my back pocket till I get to the elastic. The elastic is just a little bit too much. It won't slide easily down into my back pocket. So this is a nice purse size. Oh, one other thing I need to mention is this is $25 as opposed to the traveler's notebook, the leather one. The passport size is, at the time of this video, $45. So this is a more affordable option as well. All right. I'm eager to try this sugarcane paper. All right. In pretty much every notebook I have, the last couple pages are always used for testing pens and ink. I'm going to be writing with my Pilot Vanishing Point. I've got an 18 karat fine nib. I've got an extra fine nib unit that came with it, and I bought a fine replacement nib just because there's some fountain pen inks that I need just a slightly wider line. I want to be able to enjoy the ink. Now, the first thing I noticed about this paper is it's pretty thick compared to most of the papers we're used to using in this fountain pen hobby. I'm not seeing much sheen. Maybe I'll do a tweezer swatch here in just a second. The paper feels smooth, but I can hear the nib making that scritchy scratch sound. This ink typically has like a bronzy colored sheen to it, kind of halfway between like a silvery sheen and between a silvery sheen and a copper colored sheen. It's nice. This is an interesting ink. Before I do the swatch, let me do my loop-de-loops. One more. Yeah, this isn't an exceptionally wet ink, but it does feel like the ink is soaking into the paper pretty quickly. And I just clamp my tweezers together, dip it down into the ink, get a bit of it stuck between the tines. That's quite a bit of ink here at the beginning. We'll see if there's any sheen that shows up. I'm seeing just the tiniest little bit of sheen on the left side of the drip. And not really any sheen over here. So even though this paper is fountain pen friendly, no bleed through or anything, it's nice and thick. If you're concerned with your ink drying quickly and not smearing, it's good in that sense, but you may not see all of the properties of your ink that like sheen and things like that. Looks like shading would probably show up okay. Maybe I'll use this I'll try it with some other inks and see how they behave, see how they look. All right, and one of the things you can do, I mean, you have quite a few options with this notebook. Since it has these pockets here on the side, you can use this as a folio. Now, I don't have a soft cover, let me see. A soft cover Leuchtturm I think would be too tall, but maybe a soft cover moleskin, pocket moleskin, the thicker ones. You could use this as a folio if you didn't want to use the elastics. Another thing you can do is let's see. That fits in there nicely. If you wanted to have multiple, let me see. I've got another notebook. Let me see what 3 looks like. Okay. Well, this one has stuff written in it. So there's 3. It doesn't look overly stuffed. You've still got room there. Let's see what 4 looks like. I've got a bunch of used field notes from back before I really started using fountain pens. Let me see. I want to see how they fit if we put them all on the elastics. Now we're starting to get pretty chunky, but still they fit in there nicely. Yeah, let's see if I try to overstuff it, if I try to put one here in the back. Now we're starting to get overstuffed, but it's still, it feels, I'm having more trouble closing it. But it still looks okay. I don't know, this one might not. Yeah, now well, if you smash them in there, yeah, that still works. That's 5 notebooks right there. That's 6 notebooks. I'm not a big fan of the overstuffed notebook, but for those of you that are, that fits nicely. All right. If you found this video helpful, please give me a thumbs up, and if you'd like to see more videos like this, please subscribe to my channel.